What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. I've got a commentary for you today. StarCraft 2 Complexity CatZ versus EG's Idra. This is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg here on Tal'Darim Altar. We can see here CatZ spawning in the upper right-hand position as our red Zerg player, and the blue Zerg player is EG's Idra right over here in the upper left position. Yes, we are on Tal'Darim Altar. Finally, time for a mirror matchup. I've been getting lots of requests, people saying, hey Force, you do a lot of other game commentaries, but not a whole ton of mirror matchups. And truth be told, there's not a lot of mirror matchups available at the specific websites that I go to. I visit frequently multiple replay sites, and then I get replays sent to me, and they're just, you don't see a lot of mirror matchups. It's just not quite as frequent as X-Rays versus Y-Race or whatever it may be. So yes, anyways, it is a Zerg versus Zerg, and we'll obviously want to keep a close eye as to how each player decides to open. Now, something to realize about this map, in this matchup in particular, is that any sort of fast expansion can be incredibly dangerous, simply given the fact if you try to go like 15 hatch first and your opponent opens up with a 10 pool or a 13 or 14 pool or anything of that nature, they can kind of just overrun you with Zerglings, and it's incredibly difficult to stop. Your biggest defense, of course, will be using your queens and spines. Maybe getting out some roaches can be helpful as well, and even trying to tech up to banelings, but that can be a little bit too far down the path and take a little too long to actually become useful. So we will want to keep an eye as to what both players decide to do. Now, given what I just said, we do also have to keep in mind that this is a very large map, and so fast expansions could be probable, and it looks like, yes, it is in fact happening right now. Both players will be fast expanding, so no one really getting a certain edge over the other. At least at this point in the game, everything looks about equal. So just keep an eye as to when each player decides to drop their spawning pool, and then we will just take it from there. We can see Drone Scout moving out right now for CatZ at the same time. No scouts actually coming out for Idra, just moving across the map with those overlords. He will be spotting his ramp as well to see if he catches any scouts moving on into this direction, or just in case there happen to be some early Zerglings. And look at that, timing's almost impeccable, just right on spot for both of them, dropping their pools and extractors at almost exactly the same time there. So there you go, both CatZ and Idra opening up with the exact same build. So there you have it. Now, I do want to go back to what I mentioned earlier. Maybe I sounded like a complete moron, but the truth is it can be dangerous. Let's just say, for example, for some reason, CatZ decided to open up with a 10 pool. He could be knocking at Idra's doors with quite a lot of Zerglings right about now, and there would be very little that Idra could do to defend against. At the very least, he would be likely to lose that expansion. But again, I'm figuring that given the size of the map, both players feel like, you know what, this map's large enough that even if they did some sort of early aggression like that, I would still be able to defend myself. The spawning pool would be finished in time. I'd have queens out, whatever the case may be. But anyways, here we go. We are going to see CatZ move right into Idra's base right now. Idra still unaware of where CatZ is. Taking a look there at the vision. He is still not moving out with a drone scout at all. Just happy with those overlords. Is really not concerned in the slightest. Now, finally, he does have some Zerglings in play, so we'll be moving across the map with that. At the same time, CatZ heading back home with that drone scout. He does have a spine crawler coming on through, and actually yes, he's got a few Zerglings coming out. Looks to be he will be sitting with 8 early on in the game. Metabolic boost coming out for both players right now. We can see Idra droning up very hard as opposed to CatZ here, who was going, yes, for those early game Zerglings. Again, we take a look here. It is 2 to 4 Zerglings, and that's going to be a lot more in just one moment. So yes, Idra deciding to drone up first and just use his Zerglings for scouting purposes, and hopefully we will see CatZ push out with that amount of Zerglings, because just sitting in the main base won't do a whole heck of a lot for him. Does have 2 sitting idle. There we go, finally picking that up. Idra moving around with 1 Zergling. He is scouting around for any certain tech, wants to look for a Roach Warren, Baneling's Nest, just wants to see what's going on. In fact, we do see the Baneling Nest coming in back of CatZ's main base. Same thing is happening over here for Idra. Idra coming through with the Baneling's Nest. His started a little bit before CatZ. Going to be seeing a little engagement between 2 groups of Zerglings right now, trying to micro back those low health Zerglings, trying to make sure he doesn't lose as many as possible. At a bit of a miss micro there. CatZ did lose that 1 Zergling, kind of just ran it into Idra's Zerglings. Sacrificial. And there we go, actually Metabolic Boost picking up for both players at the same time. So CatZ will get those Zerglings away. He is outnumbered right there in the middle of the field, so does of course want to be careful. And there we go, running right by Idra's Zerglings. He'll be running into the main, and the whole point of this, of course, is for scouting. He wants to check that those whatever those tech buildings are, and he will be spotting the Baneling Nest. He's also going to swoop around and try to look for a Roach Warren or anything like that as well. Also, keep in mind, of course, he was spotting those extractors, looking to see how many Idra had, trying to give him an indication as to what he may be planning on doing. For example, if Idra had a lot more extractors right now, he could very well be trying to tech up, or that's just an example. Could be trying to work up to a layer, a quick spy, or anything like that. Now, we can see the layer coming out right now for CatZ. Idra's layer hasn't yet to start right now. Still will just be droning up. We're going to be seeing an evolution chamber, as well as coming out with another extractor over there. And there we go, actually coming through with a Roach Warren here as well. Now back over inside of CatZ base, we do see quite a few banelings guarding post here. Roach Warren coming out for CatZ as well. Again, that layer started quite a bit before Idra's. Idra has now just started his layer right inside of his main there. So right now, both players, neither is really looking to push out. And actually, Idra a little bit in danger of losing this Overlord. The Queen will tempt fate by walking off the creep here. A little bit concerned for the Queen, just in case we see some Zerglings push out. But obviously, we could see CatZ reinforce his Queen with some Zerglings of his own. So there we go, 4 Zerglings moving across to try to engage the Queen. So close, that Overlord with 1 HP, and there you go. Queen does manage to take it out. Now we're going to see Idra try to engage, but forced to push back because that 1 Queen plus those 3 Zerglings will, of course, be enough to take out those 4 Zerglings. Looks like we did see a little bit of engagement, possibly just a scouting Zergling. I do not think that CatZ lost too much and did manage to force a sacrifice of one of those banelings. Take a look at the unit loss tab. Looks like Idra is a little bit behind right now, has lost a little bit more resources. I'm sure partially due to the fact that he lost a baneling to what I assume was just 1 Zergling. Look at this, in-base hatch here for Idra. Idra will be, of course, getting those extra larvae from that. We've got, looks like some roach play will be coming out. Also, the burrow research coming through. Ooh, no way, that's CatZ burrow research. I can't tell what's going on. CatZ burrow research right over here. So he himself, of course, will be going for roaches. So both players opting for roaches. You can see not a spire for either one of them. And you may be wondering, well, hey, both players have pretty much all ground army. They've got really not a lot of anti-air besides the Queen. Why isn't either player going for a spire? Well, it's because going for Mutalisk costs so much resources, and if your opponent in turn just masses up roaches, yes, your Mutas can attack the roaches without any return fire, but the roaches can likely tear through the base, and by the time the Mutas do enough damage to stop them, the damage will be so significant that you'll be very far behind. So that's really the major concern, is that if you go to Mutas, the fact that they cost so many resources, if you try that this early in the game, you could see an incredibly heavy roach push from your opponent, and that would be enough to really take you out. Like in the creep spread here for CatZ, although of course that does also hurt him as much as it helps him, because it will increase the speed for Idra's Zerg units, for Idra's ground units as well. I don't know. And over here we can see CatZ is coming out with the expansion, another expansion for Idra. Now obviously in terms of production, Idra will be ahead because he does have this extra hatchery with the extra larva available from that. We've got the level 1 range upgrade coming through for Idra. That is just about finished. CatZ just started his level 1 range upgrade over here as well, so he'll be a little bit behind. And here comes a roach push from CatZ, moving across the map with quite a few roaches, and let's see how much damage he is able to do. Is Idra anywhere comparable? Looks like he is. Looks like he should have about enough roaches to deal with it. We've got 26 roaches here for CatZ, and right now 27 for Idra, so Idra will be more than okay against this push, although we will see if CatZ can manage to force a cancel of this expo, moving right up on the 3rd, and let's see how much damage he can do before Idra is able to respond. Roaches of Idra forcing out, and there we go, the forced cancel, and right now we will be seeing CatZ push back, trying to lose as little as possible. We'll be sacrificing 2 roaches to try to slow up the roach army there, and then walking back home. That was pretty big for CatZ. The fact that he could force that canceled expo will put him quite a bit ahead, because we can see CatZ is very close to finishing this right now. So as long as he can defend this 3rd, he will certainly be ahead of Idra in terms of resources once he gets that base nice and saturated. Let's keep a close eye. Again, level 2 upgrade. We also have an infestation pit right now coming out for Idra. What does CatZ have going on? CatZ is just coming out right now with those pathogen glands. His infestation pit is finished right now. Oh, that's the other thing too. I completely slipped my mind there when it comes to going Mutas in this matchup. Right now, infestors, oh man, Mutas do not have a good time against fungal growth. It's just not enjoyable for them at all, and that's a large part of the reason why we are seeing neither player try to put Mutas on the board, because 1 or 2 fungal growths can pretty much just devastate everything you have. And this is a very large roach army right now, moving on to CatZ 3rd, and Idra will be trying to return the favor of a destroyed expansion, and I am not sure that CatZ will get there. There we go. We're going to be forcing Idra's units to push back. Wait, will he just target fire? No, he will be engaging the roaches here of CatZ, and it's just roach against roach. We've got a Queen coming up in the mix. He doesn't have enough energy to transfuse, though, and CatZ looking to be a little bit of trouble. He did have a bad concave there. Idra's units were able to get a wider range of fire, and Idra looks like he will be able to take out this expansion, so CatZ, unfortunately, losing an expansion as well. So a nice little back and forth there between these two. Right now, Idra will be ahead because of that, dropping that expansion. Idra has got his up, and he should be getting that saturated sometime soon. Are we going to see some transfer? No, actually moving down with that one drone to drop a spine crawler. I want some extra static defenses there. We've got a couple of drones moving on over, just massing up those roaches right now. Idra does have some one infester coming out. I don't know if he has any more in play. No, it doesn't look like Idra has got any in play. He does have that changeling that just walked on through, so we'll be seeing this push right now. And yeah, he sees it. There we go. Target fires down, so we're going to be seeing 3 infestors plus all of these roaches, and Idra does not have the infestor count to deal with this, so he needs to be a little bit careful. Those fungal growths can be a little bit devastating. Infestors want to stay away from that spine crawler. Idra with the high ground and having that nice concave plus those 2 spines, though, that is really nothing that CatZ really wants to engage in. It's a little bit too difficult. Again, with that greater concave, more of Idra's units will be shooting, and he'll be in a much better position, while as opposed to roaches being clumped up or any range units being clumped up, you'll tend to have units in the background that aren't firing, and that's kind of the worst position. So that's why typically, if you can get the greater concave in a roach-on-roach battle or anything, kind of a range-on-range battle, it's going to put you in a much better position. CatZ moving back into his main with a couple of infestors. Was he seeing harassment? No, it doesn't look to be the case. I hope I don't miss anything. Back over here, burrowed Zergling for CatZ will be spotting if Idra tries to move into a 4th in this position. Of course, Idra could also try for a 4th here, but that is quite a bit dangerous. Very, very close to CatZ's main base and his expansions, and very easy for CatZ to continuously stream aggression against that. Back over here, we can see CatZ right now moving into his 4th base. Again, Idra just on the 3. We've got a couple of scouting roaches moving across the map. Of course, you can keep an eye out. There are overlords and overseers just everywhere without a lot of anti-air. They're feeling pretty comfortable with keeping these scouting overlords and or overseers anywhere across the map. We've got lots of roaches and a few infestors moving across the map right now for Idra, and Idra, if nothing else, will be trying to get a little bit of map control, although he has been able to see everything that's going on, so he could very well be trying to push right now. And again, this is the same situation, but this time for Idra. Idra really doesn't want to walk up against this. It's just very, very dangerous. We do have an overseer just in case. Dealing with burrowed roaches can be a little bit scary, so you of course do want that cloak detection. Idra will be moving forward and trying to engage over here. CatZ repositioning his units. He doesn't want to lose this base much like he did last time, and there's a big fungal growth going down, and return fungal growth there, and both players fungling the roach army, trying to trap them in place and allowing the other roach army to get within range and do a lot of damage. And fungal on fungal action, acid going everywhere. This is just a green pile of ooze. We've got a couple of infested Terrans getting dropped right now as well, and it looks like CatZ does prevail. Had the greater concave, some nice fungal growth from him as well, and Idra has been forced to push back right now, losing that infestor too. That was no bueno. So look at that. Nice engagement. Unfortunately for Idra, wasn't able to break. Again, that was just massive fungal growth and roach-on-roach action. Pretty intense stuff. Let's take a look at the unit loss tab. Now, they are looking about equal, though. Obviously, Idra's primary goal in that push was to attempt to take out this hatchery. A good responsiveness, though, by CatZ, seeing it coming, put his units into a much better position so he didn't get caught in a choke like that, because dealing with fungals while trying to move your units through that choke could be completely devastating. Now, we've got quite a few Hydras on the map right now for Idra. Of course, Hydra's very, very high DPS, although they are very slow off creep, so you do have to make sure that you keep pace with them and you don't get too far. You don't get too far ahead of them, because getting them caught out of position can be pretty devastating, especially with a few fungals. Can really tear through them. And there we go. Now that Hydras are on the map, we should be seeing both players try to reposition their overlords, because they are in danger of losing them. Idra in over here, and we'll be scouting this push coming. CatZ will be trying to avoid. Almost losing that infestor there to those few roaches. Roach is a little terrified, though. We're pulling back home. We do have a infestor being rallied over there for CatZ as well. So we can see right now CatZ is with his 4th. We've got Idra trying to come out this 4th as well. This is something, of course, that CatZ is aware of. Unfortunately, CatZ didn't burrow right there. This could be intentional, though. Maybe he didn't want to delay it and let Idra know that he had a burrowed Zergling over here. And it could be quite possible that CatZ just wanted the information that was there. But look at this. Some burrowed infestors from CatZ moving across the map right now. And this is a little bit scary. If he manages to sneak up at this expansion, he could drop some major fungal growths and some infested Terrans to snipe this hatchery. Fungal growths, of course, would be used to take out all of those drones, and here they go, infested Terrans sneaking their way on over. Oh, how mischievous you guys are. So right now, CatZ scouting out this expo will be trying to exploit the fact that he knows it and that Idra does not know he is aware of it. And here we go, infested Terrans, there we go, and this, of course, will be used to snipe the hatchery. So see you later. We'll be killing off some of the drones and turning face and sniping this hatchery, and let's see if he can get it before Idra can respond. Does want to make sure he target fires it down, and there we go. Looks like Idra will be losing this. Very, Very nice play by CatZ, absolutely phenomenal. In fact, I remember doing I did a Like a Boss episode about using those infested Terrans. That was actually courtesy of my buddy Tempest. It was an idea that he gave me. People cried. They said, oh, you don't need that. You need fungal growth, but you can see how effective infested Terrans can be. And here we go right now. CatZ trying to engage, is walking into some of these fungal growths. There are a lot of infestors right now here for Idra, but CatZ has got quite a few as well. And this is a very large engagement. Everything is melting to acid. Some big fungal growths going down as well. A primary target is pretty much those hydras will be dropping very fast to those fungal growths, and it looks like CatZ may be ahead right now. The greater concave and just tearing through Idra's units, and Idra is looking to be in a bit of trouble. But look at those roaches fighting back right now, killing off the remainder of CatZ hydras, and some reinforcements there were enough. We do have one burrowed infestor that will be heading back home for CatZ, so it looked like momentarily that CatZ was going to prevail, but we saw, of course, being so close to Idra's main, Idra was able to reinforce quite quickly with some additional roaches, and that's really what allowed him to prevail against that. CatZ, not too discouraged though, will be regrouping up some forces, obviously feeling very happy with the fact that he did manage to take out this expansion. Idra sitting over here with the Spore Crawler, obviously should be seeing the Zergling right now. Hopefully he sends at least one roach over there to take care of that, and Idra just leaves the game. Yeah, I didn't expect that, Christ. Alright guys, well, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this game. Pretty nuts, huh? Much to my chagrin, both CatZ and Idra opened up with a fast expansion this game. The first 10 or so minutes consisted of pretty much identical things. Both CatZ and Idra teched up, went for strong economies, moved into a third, and were going for a Roach, Baneling, Zergling builds. So as you can see over here, Idra in pretty much the exact same position as CatZ, with the one notable exception of a extra in-base hatchery. Around the 11-minute mark, we did see CatZ push out and go to snipe Idra's third expansion, and this is actually going to force a cancellation. This is something that certainly put Idra behind in the early game. Idra, however, then pushed out with a counterattack, and due to superior force size and a much greater position, was actually able to snipe CatZ's hatchery as well. You can see Idra sitting with the greater concave really put CatZ in a tough spot, and this allowed Idra to easily snipe his third expansion.